Hello, welcome to our first broadcast of Careers in Accounting. In this episode, we're going to talk about Olya Stuber a little bit and her career at PwC and what she found interesting about accounting and her career. So hopefully you enjoy this and it's helpful for you. So Olya, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You want to talk a little bit about how you became interested in accounting and got to the point where you are at PwC?
Yeah, and I'm a tax partner in PwC, so tax, right, is one of the specialties within accounting. And I stumbled sort of into accounting, being in the business school, taking different classes. I took introductory course into accounting. It clicked. I took some tax classes and decided that's something that I would like to pursue. Never thought about public accounting as a long-term career, but it was a good start. But once I started with a firm, I just realized sort of the longer you work and you meet different people and you work with different clients and you see just the variety of opportunities and how broad the accounting profession can be and all the different things that people do. And it's kind of hard to imagine when you're looking at from outside, but even within tax, you'd think tax, you just do tax returns. Even within tax, we just have so many different specialties and people do so many different things. So to me, a CPA is such a versatile profession, right? And you can do so much. And we can talk about all kinds of details here, but I would... that was to me was the most exciting aspect of this. Is just
And you've worked in various cities
that's
at
right.
PwC, right?
That's right. So I started with a firm in Minneapolis. I worked in our office in New York for a couple of years, and then kind of came back to Midwest to St. Louis. So I've seen sort of mid-sized offices, smaller offices, big offices, and what I think is also great about accounting is you're really not tied to any specific industry, right? We can sort of, once you have that skill set, you can apply it to different businesses and different industries, and your location doesn't matter, right? Businesses in different cities with global economy, right? They do interesting and cool things, and we get the opportunity to be there with them, and it doesn't matter that I'm in St. Louis or I'm in New York. We all do the same things, and it's all very exciting.
Yeah. So can you talk about a couple projects that may be interesting to the audience that you're working on right
So
now?
to drill down on the profession, right? Not only I'm an accountant, I'm a tax accountant, I'm also specializing in international tax.
And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand is the degree of specialization. It's not just tax, audit, or consulting. In each discipline, there's subspecialties
so much
that
more,
are
right?
than you would ever realize when you're in school.
No, and again, it doesn't mean if I'm in a national tax, I know the laws, tax laws of every country. I know enough to ask the right questions. But when we work with companies and businesses, right, within the international tax, is really helping them navigate an increasingly complex environment of regulations. And then the business itself becomes very complex, right? It's very difficult now to find a business that's very straightforward, one location, no international aspects. It's
not affected by law
anymore.
change or anything like that. It's
That's
pervasive.
right. So any company and any business has issues that we can come in and help them. A lot of it has to deal with M&A. So a lot what we do is actually working with M&A teams at our clients, helping them with the transactions. Either it's internal M&A, external transactions. So a number of transactions that I've done in very, very recent time is having to deal with either big dispositions or acquisitions where it's like a puzzle piece, right? There's lots of different elements of an M&A transaction, and we're looking at how these puzzle pieces all come together to get our client in the best position possible, right? To help them save cost and also get the best deal. So
you're in those transactions throughout the life cycle of those, right? So we're talking large scale.
Yeah,
lots of hours,
lots
maybe
of
years
hours, and you learn a lot about the business, right? What I enjoy about my work is that I interact with people from different segments of the clients, right? We work with treasury, so all the finance, of course, right? We work with businesses directly. We understand what drives the business, where the value is, how they deal with customers, what their supply chain is. So all of that comes into play, and we need to take that all into account. So you learn a lot about business as well. So it's not just accounting. I always joke, right? I'm a tax partner. I don't do tax returns. I really don't do numbers, even though I like numbers. So I get to look at numbers. It's great. But a lot of what we do is business consulting. And you're using your technical knowledge to bring solutions to your client. Communication is important, right? They always think about profession. We talk to people a lot. My kids always tell me I'm on the phone all the time, right? Or now it's on video. But a lot of that is communicating with people, working together, solving problems, bringing solutions. And on M&A transactions in tax especially is cool. Like Jeff, you said, we not only come in from the beginning when there's just negotiations, right, about the transaction, we also help businesses, if it's an acquisition, we help them acquire that business. We help them integrate that business into their structure. We see that business going through different cycles. And sometimes a few years ago, we see it being disposed, right? So we kind of see the
That's when you know you've been there a while.
The full cycle. and it's very interesting to see. And you learn a lot. It's not just about tax or accounting.
Yeah. And it makes it easy to do the next project for that client when you've worked with them for that long.
That's
on
right.
A particular
And you know their facts. Yep.
Can you talk a little bit about the challenges in the industry of finding talented young people to come into accounting?
It is, and we've noticed, right, in the recent years, we have maybe less and less entry sort of when we're going to colleges and looking for talent to join the firm. I would say the opportunities are unlimited, right? You can come in, whether it's a public accounting, and I'm a big proponent of public accounting because that's where I stayed. Again, I didn't plan my career to be a long-term public accounting. I didn't come
You just
to
kind of
PwC
wake up and
to
you become partner.
To say, I really want to be here. I want to be here for sure,
Yeah.
but I didn't aggressively pursue like a partner track, right? I came to learn, figure out what the profession is, and maybe decide what I want to do. And I stayed, and we can talk about the reasons I stayed. They're all great. But the challenges is really to find people who can come in and be interested in learning and interested in investing in their career. I think accounting has a kind of this maybe a connotation of being very conservative, kind of old school profession. It's completely a myth to me. Like I work with so many, young people from different parts of the world. It's very diverse. It's very dynamic, and it's very democratic because as a young person, if I'm thinking back to when I was an associate coming in, you can make significant impact on your projects from the get-go. As long as you're interested in learning, you contribute, you have a voice, you bring your personality into your relationship building, and all of that to me is exciting. And kind of giving that profession a chance can open a lot of doors that you may not be thinking about as you think about accounting.
Yeah. So I have a history in public accounting as well. I've always thought that it's a continuation of your college education. When you come in the door at a firm, the firm then takes over your education, and the people you work for and the firm takes on that role of the educator. But it continues throughout your career. You as a partner just got back from some training.
Lots of training.
It keeps going. And you have to be comfortable with that.
That's right. And you got to be comfortable with saying, I actually don't know the answer. Because a lot of times, clients come to us. When they come to us, it's not easy questions. Because if they're easy questions, there are a lot of smart people at the companies who can figure this out. They come to us with complex issues. And that's another aspect, I think, of accounting is that you never work alone, right? You're always with a team. Everybody's motivated to bring the best of their abilities, technical knowledge, sort of expertise, creativity is a cool thing to see in accounting. It's probably maybe another kind of bad connotation when you say accounting and creativity, but it's literally we're working on puzzles, right? There's a piece in the puzzle where you need to move it around in the best way possible to get to the right answer. Working with people a lot.
So what are you seeing with challenge in attracting talent and keeping talent, because you not only have to get them in the
Yeah.
door, you have to try to keep them at public accounting, because companies obviously like to hire people from public accounting. What are you seeing in terms of compensation? What in general does the market look like from a compensation standpoint for a young accountant?
I think it's fair compensation. It moves up pretty quickly,
Yeah.
right? We always kind of show folks like, here's the trajectory. What I like specifically about public accounting is your career is pretty well defined, and it's really up to you to move as fast as you can, right? We never hold people back just because they may be only a few years in, right? We're looking whether a person is ready for the next job, and sort of compensation it's transparent. Everyone sort of knows, right, at different levels how much you make. And when I think about our managers, senior managers who maybe 5-6 years into their career, and what they make, it's a much higher than, I would say, the average, right? Salaries in the professional world, and kind of that opportunity to grow exponentially in your compensation is there.
Yeah.
We pay nice, year-end bonuses. We have great kind of awards and team awards tools, right? So it's up to you. If you're a high performer, you're invested in your career, I think you're going to be compensated pretty well for what you do, and given all the opportunities that you can just take, right? Whether it's learning, training, opportunities, working with clients. We also, right, very supportive of people who stay in public accounting and then they decide, maybe I want to try something else, right? We a lot of times partner with our clients and actually our people to find them the best opportunities. And we're very open with them to, when we see whether it's the right fit for that person, depending on what they want to do. So we're going to support you in whatever you want to do, because again, accounting is a small world, right? Relationships are very important, and we want everyone to succeed.
Yeah, and so those people sometimes don't just go to be a tax accountant at a company.
That's right.
Sometimes they go off into different parts of the business as well, but that accounting background is such a solid foundation, and then their training ground while they're in public accounting gets them even more experience and knowledge and attractiveness to employers.
Yeah, when I know kind of alums of even PwC at different clients, they're people who are VPs of tax, chief accounting officers, CFOs, treasury. Some go into kind of back into finance and M&A just because we have such a great M&A background, or even in business consulting. So all the doors are open. And I think the skill set that you get, especially in public accounting, of not just the technical knowledge, it's always important, but kind of that approach to business, being able to communicate clearly. At the executive level, those are the career skills that opens door to different avenues, right, depending on what you want to pursue.
So I wanted to, you touched on something just then that I wanted to talk about is, besides just building your technical skill set while you're in college, what other skills do you see would be most beneficial for a young person to spend their time trying to develop before they get into the real world?
Yeah, I think one is more maybe a few things, right? One is clear communication. So I would say if you have an opportunity to take a communication class, a writing class, of being able to, first of all, speak and think about how logically present maybe complex and different facts into a very concise way, is a great skill to have.
Because most of some of your clients may not be very technical.
That's right.
Your partner you work for might not be very technical. So the ability to convey a very complex technical matter in a short, concise, actionable manner is just a rare skill set.
Correct. Because a lot of our clients, we work, with such a variety of businesses. When you work with a business who may not even have their own tax department, right, and they're relying on us to be their tax advisor, they don't think about us as their tax advisors. We're just one of their business advisors, right? And being able to speak the business language and translate tax, for example, into a business language is important. And then just building relationships, right? Like how you bring yourself to the project, to your team. Working in teams is also important. We're always, my daughter one time told me that when she watches me work, especially now during pandemic years, we worked at home a lot. She told me that my job is a never-ending school team project, and that's probably true, because we never work alone.
You don't want to finish, really. You want to keep going.
You want to keep going. So working with team, respecting everyone's input, what they can bring to the table, is a great value that you can bring to a public accounting, or actually anywhere that you work, right? In business, I think that we either part of the team, we lead the team, we teach others all the time. So it's a continuing communication. So actually thinking about an accountant sitting in a corner doing books, being in this introvert, right? Those are all days.
Yeah.
That's not, I think, the expectation and the requirement of the job.
Yeah, excellent. So you touched on a couple of the things. I'd be interested in how is your work day look? I know it might be long because you're very busy and you got lots of different things going on, but work-life flexibility and remote working and things like that. And how is that working for you?
And I think that's one of I mentioned there were a few reasons I stayed in public accounting. I think flexibility is one of them. I have a family, I have children, right? I have a lot of responsibilities outside of my job, but my job is also a very important part of my life. And so it's difficult. I can tell, like, it's challenging sometimes to find that balance. So my family knows that at certain times I'm going to be busier at work, but then at certain times I can take off and do the vacations and school events and other things with my children and family, that I don't need a special, I don't need to talk to someone to say, oh, can I take this time off, right? It's up to me. It's very flexible. I always joke that being in a public accounting, it's the closest you can get to running your own business without the risk of being the business owner, because it's flexible. It's demanding. You need to kind of bring the best that you have to your job every day. Clients appreciate it, right? You're always. It's nice to be sort of wanted, right?
Yeah.
When people come to you with questions, I really find that inspiring, right? When you're able to help clients find a solution to a problem. So when it sometimes happens on a Friday night, it does, and so you jump in, and then we do the work, and you kind of move on and have fun. So, but flexibility is important to me, and I think the profession has that opportunity to be flexible.
And really key in that, I would suspect, is having a very solid team underneath you.
Super important.
That you have developed and you continue to develop, but also support their work-life flexibility, and you're all going towards a common goal.
That's right, and everybody's pitching in, right? Yeah. And as long as you communicate up front, everybody knows what's important to you, what your schedule is. We never tell a person, of course, no, you cannot go to this your kids' event, or you cannot take a vacation. Those again, old days are gone, right? So the public accounting crazy hours sitting in the office, we don't do that anymore. And we trust everyone to be professional and be responsible for their own careers. And to me, where you sit and where you do the work is less important, and more important what you bring to the table, and that you're present. And we have so many tools now to do that, right? The virtual kind of world expanded significantly, so it only brings more flexibility.
Excellent. Well, I really appreciate you spending a few minutes with us and hearing more about what keeps you busy during the day and what's attractive to you about the profession. So
I was just going to ask, give accounting a chance, and it's a great opportunity, and it will open a lot of doors.
Excellent. Thank you again.